Welcome to Inside the Inferno. My name is Karli Koskovich, and alongside me, making her anchor debut, is DeCosta. Alex, we're excited to have you, and welcome to the desk.
Thank you, Karli. I'm excited to be here, and what a week it has been for ASU sports, so let's jump right in.
There's been a lot of exciting news this past week, from hockey to women's golf and everything in between. To start off, Inferno reporter Kenji Ito has the latest on men's basketball.
Two losses to USC and Washington, 77-69 and 69-66 respectively. The ASU men's basketball team falls to 15-6 overall and 6-4 in conference play. So far, the year hasn't been too hot for the Sun Devils, as they have gone 4-3 in 2023. On the bright side, senior guard Desmond Cambridge Jr. has been the star of the team, as he has scored 20 or more points in 3 of his last 5 performances. Senior forward Warren Washington is making his presence felt on defense, averaging 7.2 rebounds and 2 blocks, while sophomore guard Frankie Collins is the facilitator on offense, averaging 4.8 assists. The Devils stay in Washington, going from Seattle to Pullman to face the 9-13 Washington State Cougars on Saturday, January 28th. To stay in contention for the tourney, the Sun Devils need to win out because they have a tough schedule toward the end of the season in the U of A Wildcats, the UCLA Bruins, and the USC Trojans, which are all away. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kenji. Hopefully the Sun Devils can bring home the win against Washington State. Back with more insight on NCAA Bracketology is reporter Nicholas Hodel.
Thanks, Alex. And the last week or so has not helped the Sun Devils when looking at the bigger picture of the projected field of 68. We start with the net rankings, where the Sun Devils took another slight drop to 57th, now approaching their lowest ranking of the season in that category. The quadrant records now show a weakened position in the second quadrant at 3-3 to go along with 3 quadrant 1 wins in that quad 4 loss at Texas Southern in November. ASU finds itself in a dangerous position here in late January, with many bracketologists, including ESPN's Joe Lenardi, putting the Sun Devils among the last 4 in. What exactly does that look like? Let's compare ASU to each of the other teams that are in the last 4 in. The Sun Devils are competitive with each team in quad 1 wins and have a favorable net rank to Pittsburgh and Wisconsin, but fall short in strength of schedule at 78th. This last metric here is strength of record. The Sun Devils fell 7 spots here to 43rd on Friday, making them competitive with other teams here with no advantage. How does ASU compare with some of Lenardi's first teams out? The Sun Devils fell short in the net rank to teams like Ohio State, Nevada, and also Texas A&M. However, ASU holds a key advantage with its 3rd quad 1 win and remains on pace in the second quadrant and wins, despite having a weaker winning percentage there than the other 3. Strength of schedule is where ASU falls behind compared to Nevada and Ohio State, especially out of the conference schedule. So the biggest clue to all of this is simply, once again, to win. And after Thursday night, all of this talk can become a moot point if ASU continues losing games.
Thanks, Nicholas. We'll be keeping an eye on how the Sun Devils perform over the next few weeks. Shifting over to the women's side, Sun Devil women's basketball reporter Aaron Gonzalez has the latest news on the court.
After having a pair of games canceled due to an insufficient number of players, Arizona State women's basketball quickly shifted their focus and attention to a home matchup against in-state rival Arizona last weekend. The Sun Devils gave it their all, but the Wildcats proved to be too much to handle, winning by a final score of 80-67. With that loss, the Wildcats secured the season sweep against the Sun Devils. Despite the 13-point loss, junior Treasure Hunt led the team in scoring and had a career-high 24 points and 6 rebounds. Junior Ty Skinner reached a career milestone, eclipsing 1,000 career points. Congratulations to her. And junior Jaden Simmons set a career high by making 11 free throws. This marks the first time in Simmons' career making double-digit free throws in a single game. And let's not forget, the Sun Devils went 22 for 29, making 76% of their free throws. Head coach Natasha Adair and the Sun Devils still remain winless in the Pac-12. They're hoping to secure their first Pac-12 victory of the season this weekend. The Sun Devils have had 4 days of rest and plenty of preparation for back-to-back home games coming up against the Washington State Cougars and Washington Huskies. Tip-off is set for tonight at 6 p.m. at Desert Financial Arena, and their next home game is this Sunday at noon. Now let's send it back to Karli and Alex at the desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Next, with the latest news on the ice, is reporter Stephen Buxton.
It was another losing weekend for ASU hockey, who took on the RIT Tigers this past weekend at Mullet. Friday's game was a frustrating 5-1 loss in which the Sun Devils just couldn't get anything going. The Tigers scored early in the first period and just couldn't stop. Sophomore goaltender TJ Septemfelter was pulled for the second time this year, and all the Sun Devils could come up with was a late third period goal. Saturday's game was a lot more promising for the Sun Devils. Going into the second period, ASU outshot the Tigers 14-1 and had a 1-0 lead. The Tigers tied it up in the second. After ASU took a 3-2 lead in the third, RIT scored 3 unanswered goals to close out the sweep. After the game, head coach Greg Powers acknowledged that the team had played well enough to win, but said that lately they just haven't had any puck luck, and acknowledged that the team is frustrated with the way the season has turned. Frustrating might be an understatement for the season. After a 7-4 start, which included a 5-1 record at home, it feels like the turning point for this season has been their trip to New York for the series against Clarkson. After sweeping Alaska Anchorage the week prior, the Sun Devils were swept out of the East Coast and have spiraled down since. In the 16 games since playing Alaska Anchorage, the Sun Devils have not won a series, they've been swept 4 times, and most importantly, they turned a season with 2 program-altering wins into a season that is on life support. The Sun Devils currently sit at 11-16, and there's not just one reason for that. The team has struggled to take opportunities, ranking 34th in the country in power play percentage, and they have the worst face-off win percentage in the country, and the Sun Devils spend more than enough time in the box, with the 3rd most penalty minutes per game in the country. One bright spot for the team has been their penalty kill. They have the 12th best killing percentage in the country and the 5th most shorthanded goals, which has kept them in games during this skid. While it may seem bleak, the Sun Devils still have an outside shot to make it into the tournament. The team just needs to get hot at the right time. The Sun Devils need to win 9 of their remaining games to end the season with a winning record, and one can assume there would be more required to return to the tournament. Coach Powers acknowledges that the team has one option: win 1 game at a time. They hope to do so this weekend in front of a home crowd in a series against St. Thomas.
Thank you, Stephen. We'll see how the Sun Devils fare on the ice as they wrap up the final weekend at their home stand.
Taking it over to the courts where women's tennis has been dominating, Inferno reporter Mary Grace Grable has more.
The Arizona State women's tennis team is off to a strong start to their spring season, including last week's 7-0 win against LMU. For the first time since at least the 2005-2006 campaign, the Sun Devils are 5-0 with all matches being straight sweeps. Currently ranked number 19 in the nation, ASU heads to Auburn, Alabama for the ITA kickoff weekend, and they are scheduled to play UCF on Saturday and Auburn or UCSB on Sunday.
It's great to see the Sun Devils staying undefeated and dominating on the court. Finally, making her Inferno debut, Paisley Poole with the latest from women's golf.
The Sun Devils women's golf team placed second in the Match in the Desert while competing against UCLA, Arizona, Baylor, Kansas, and TCU. This was the first year Pac-12 and Big 12 programs competed together. The Sun Devils' home state advantage worked in their favor. The ladies shot their 6th lowest score in program history, shooting 11 under par for a team score of 277 at Prospectors Course in Gold Canyon. Junior Ashley Menny, named co-champion of the match, had 8 birdies and matched her career low round. She also tied with UCLA's Caroline Canales, who was ranked 33rd nationally. Freshman Paula Schultz-Hansen shot a career low 66, which was 6 under par, placing her 3rd. The team is headed to the Bahamas in February for the Nexus Collegiate Tournament.
Thank you, Paisley. We hope you enjoyed today's show. For more information on the Maroon and Gold, check out our website, infernointel.com, and on Twitter, @InfernoIntel.
How was that for a first show, Alex?
You know, Karli, there's no place I'd rather spend my Friday than right here in the studio.
You took the words right out of my mouth. For Alex DeCosta, our wonderful crew, I'm Karli Koskovich, and that concludes another weekly edition of Inside the Inferno.